stop sharing for a second and see if where Carla is.
Yeah.
And you have anything to share, Carla? What is that?
The bread.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Carla.
Yeah. So I think you have more current data based on what you sent to the branches.
We're
Yeah.
not
So
using alumni, but just basically to everybody, we are not using ALUMNI. We are using alum.
right.
ALUM. It's genderless. It's it's acceptable by whatever Merriam-Webster, whoever it is. So those are the terms that we are using. Okay, back to you, Carla.
Okay. So based on the survey that we did to the branch coordinators, and this was back in March, I guess, March, April, sometime in there. We had about 35 responses. And out of those, we found that maybe about 8 or 9 branches actually had T-tag, but about 20 of them were interested in starting a T-tag group. So we see that there is a lot of interest in really reaching out to the alums that have gone to Tech Trek. And there's a lot of questions about how do we do that.
Mm-mm.
Also, we started the microfunding program, the grant program, and we currently have 4 applications. One of them has been accepted. We actually had first we had a couple that we were using as kind of a beta test. So out of the 2 that we were using as a beta test to make sure that we had all of the questions the appropriate questions, we were gathering the right information and getting the appropriate reports and so forth. One of those we've already approved for a $500 grant, and we have 3 more that we are going to evaluate. These will be our second quarter applicants. So we will be evaluating grant applications on a quarterly basis. And we will look at this, the second fiscal quarter, I think it's January 6th, and we will get back to those 3 applicants and let them know. So, and all 4 of those are for T-tag, for branches that are starting T-tag groups. So that's a source of funding to help you get going, help branches get going. So
help them move from the working on it to the active T-tag group, or help them is that where these branches, I think one of them, Hayward Castro Valley, is a I think that they were in the working on it category. And so this is going to help them get started. So we do want to track that too, Carla, I think.
Yeah.
And what exactly are they
And-
using the money for?
Good question.
Yeah, it's for the T-tag, for the branches that are starting a T-tag group, they're using it to organize themselves, to get to find out who are their alums, from 8th grade through their senior year of high school. They're using it to have a starter program. Who are going to be the alum leaders, and what are the kinds of activities that they want to do.
But they're talking about spending the money for basically event type stuff. So it's expenses. Jerry's here and she can talk about what she specifically thinks that she should be applying. And here's the thing about this program. You get a grant, you tell us, estimate, I want to spend $500. Okay. we'll say target $500 for that grant. You then submit receipts to us and we give you the money back. That's basically how it works. We don't just give you $500 to spend how you want. So it's going to have to be rationalized and backed up with receipts. Jerry, you're on.
Oh, yeah. And thanks, Carla, because you kind of answered my question. And I just went back and looked at the timeline and thing. And I think I submitted mine after the 1st. So no news is good news. I'll be hearing from you in January, I presume. But we really wanted to do just like get in touch with alum and have like a little luncheon. We have a room at the public library. And basically, like, you know how at camp you do a professional women's night? So this would be like that, but it would be alum talking about where are they now? Like who's in a STEM field and how did you get there and where you been and welcome back and all that. But then we realized like, wait a minute, we have to contact everybody. And some of them, we don't even have it's been years and they're grown and flown probably. And so I need postcards, I need stamps, I need a high school kid from 2024 camp who will help me like call the families and go, hey, we're trying to reach so-and-so. How can we get in touch with them? So there was actually some structural work to happen. And then also I was kind of dragging my feet, but I want to use that. It makes sense to use that newly forming database and just put everything in there from the go.
Yeah.
So I was starting to make this little spreadsheet database, blah, blah. And my days with computers started out as database management. And I'm like, somebody's making one. I'm going to stop. So there was some stuff like that. Like I want somebody to help do the work, but I'm trying to be a project manager and start it up and then get some members who will help actually do it.
Yeah, Jerry, aren't you going to try and give them some stipends too, offer some stipends to the girls?
I wanted to get, in particular, one high school student that was in my core class at the first Santa Cruz and a little stipend to meet with me once and then kind of take it off, run with it. Because we have a spreadsheet that goes pretty far back, but I'm assuming like some of this information is irrelevant unless we can get a hold of the families and say, hey, we're looking for Susie.
And I will tell you that it probably will be, we'll be into the new year, the new year before we get to the point where we could even start collecting updated information.
Right. So for right now, we just want to get contact information. We just want to know how to get with Susie. And I know she's probably married and moved away and blah, blah, blah. But you don't know how many are still in the community.
Right. You don't.
I'm curious to see. Yeah.
So other things that people are looking at is you have the startup that Jerry was talking about. Then it's a little bit since they're just starting, they're looking at the girls that they're getting into the leadership. What are the things that you want to do? All right, you want to go to a museum. Well, you got to have transportation, or you may want to have a game night, so you may have to pay for a venue for that. And it's things like, we'll have 2 virtual meetings and 1 meeting where we're going to get together, and we'll have a where the girls are actually in person. And so that's how the money is being spent, as opposed to somebody that has somebody like Terry, for instance. She may say, we're a Forum TTAG group. We are going to go visit a business, and she'll have much more in her head. She'll understand how many girls will be going. She'll understand the type of transportation that they'll need. And it will be much more formed, but it's much more nebulous when you're first starting out. And we understand that. But we also are here to help guide you a little bit, to help you, start down the right path. And there is that TTAG workbook or toolkit, I guess it's called,
Yeah.
And once we finish up with so we finally got to the point where we feel really confident about all of the documents, and we're ready to move on. And we have Rosara Valley to lead the group, the microfunding group. And so then myself and Deb, Deb Sabo, we're going to move on, and we're going to start trying to create a little bit more, we'll create sessions where people can work together, different branches can work together, they can share ideas. And so that's like the next major thing that we are going to be working on, along with what Dr. Mimi is doing right now with the database. So I think, do you guys have any questions about how we can help you, what we need to help you get started?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yeah, who is talking?
I'm Barbara Babka from Atascadero. So we figured out this was coming, and we're very close to the girls that went last year and the year before. I wasn't the coordinator before then. So we're kind of starting out with what we know and girls that we know. And we had an event last Friday. They helped with our Winter Wonderland in Atascadero. We had a booth that our group paid for. Then I went out on a limb and I bought them all pizza. And I'm glad I did, because that was really bonding and great. But it was $100. And unfortunately, I did not keep that receipt, because this is the first Zoom I've been able to make, and I'm just learning about your program. So my question is, and I want to do more because I love these girls. They're really fun, and we have some ideas. We want to maybe do a tour of Cal Poly. One of the parents wants to have them go to Cal Poly, and all the parents will drive the girls. We're not going to get any transportation things. But my question is, if we just save receipts, because I think food is really important for teenage girls. They love the food at the camps. It keeps them really into it. Telling you they love it. Food is important for all of us. So is it that simple that we just take, how do we get this $500? That's my question, because that would have really helped me. It's too late now, but we're going to do more stuff.
I love what you're doing. You're doing great things. There's an application to fill out.
Okay.
I'll put the link in the chat. I'll have to.
Okay,
Putting it in now. I'm putting it in right now.
Perfect.
Thank you.
And scroll all the way to the bottom, please.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, there's a link for a Google form,
Okay.
and there's actually a
Oh, yeah, I see it, Dr. Mimi. Thank you. I'll take a picture.
yeah.
Is it on the website?
Yes, it's under, if you look in the section under alum, aftercare
Okay.
or after
All
camp
right.
stuff.
Thank you.
And you have
So-
to go into the TTAS, go into the Trek alumnus zone, and that's the link I put in here. And
Okay.
that will take you that, and then go all the way to the bottom, and there's a button to
Okay.
apply.
So we have a form. We
Okay.
actually have
Thank you.
frequently asked questions.
You got
We have
guidelines too, right?
guidelines.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So we went through the beta test, and as more people use it, please feel free. There's in the documents, you will see an email, a TTAP group to contact us. Let us know if you have questions, you see something that's wrong. It's kind of new. And so you fill that out. And Barbara, just to let you know that if you include in your application that you've already started this to get your TTAG group going, and your first event was
Winter Wonderland.
Winter Wonderland, and $100 pizza. Put that in your budget.
Okay, good.
And we can reimburse you for that, for things that you've done.
Okay. Thank
You
you.
know,
I don't have the
especially-
receipt anymore, but
Oh, well, that
yeah,
is
see,
a
that's the
little
problem.
bit of
That's
a
okay.
problem.
I wanted to do it. The girls are lovely, but now I know, and I
Yeah,
do not save a receipt.
receipts are good. Receipts are good.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I'll just go from forward because we have
But-
some fun things we want to do. So it'll be all
Think,
right.
think about what you want to accomplish between now
Yes.
and the end of the fiscal year, which is June, and come up with and you can resubmit one next year for next year. But talk about what you want to get done in this period of time and think about how much that might cost. And that's
Okay.
what you should estimate, because like I said, you'll be reimbursed for actual expenses, or we want to pay a stipend to so and so to help do XYZ for us.
Okay, our biggest problem has been communications via email. And
Yeah,
that was my question, had to do with whether we can use Camp Docs as a platform to send those messages. Because sending a
and we
message
will.
where people you can't CC 25 people and
Mary?
manage the
No.
email.
Real tough. And we are going to talk a little bit about the database. And yes, you can use CampDoc to communicate for 2023 to 2025. And
Mary,
yeah,
Mary,
Faye.
it's Faye. I'm sorry, I just had eye surgery, so I don't want anybody to see me.
Okay.
Anyway, yes, Camp Doc is amazing to help you with TTAG. The first thing you need to do is create a grouping of your past campers. And if you need help with that, I've gladly helped you on an individual basis, but create a group of
Who
the
is
past-
this, by the way?
Huh?
If somebody
This is
wants,
Faye-
somebody
this is-
wants to contact you, Faye, how would they do that? Can you put it in the chat when you get a chance?
I'll put her email in the chat. in
Yeah,
just a
would
second.
you, Mary? I'm
Yes,
kind
of
of on
course I
my,
will.
I'm on my cell phone tonight.
Yeah,
I couldn't get
okay.
my laptop to work.
Right.
Anyway, create that grouping. And then when you have that grouping, you go to the top of the list and check all. And then you send them your message of what you
Okay.
want. Is
Okay, now
that-
can you input the email addresses of people prior to 2023?
No,
Or can you,
That's-
no,
That's
we're not,
something,
and we're not going to do that. We weren't, that's not the plan to use CampDoc. We thought about it, but it's not, because it's not, we need other capability with that. And so we'll talk about this separate database for that. But Valerie,
Okay.
did you want to make a comment
Well,
about that?
let me finish with
Okay.
the 3 years. If you go in, you can send your message, and then here is where you will love the notifications. Then once the message has been sent and you have this group of alum, you can check under notifications if they've opened the email. It will tell you exactly when they open it. If they didn't open it, my approach is I text them. I send a text to the parent and the child, and say, did you get the email from Camp Doc about our event?
and could you send it, an email to a parent as well?
If the parent is listed as a user, you can.
Okay,
And you can even add users, right, Mary?
No, not to an email. You can add users to a profile, but you can't
Right.
add them to a
So-
specific email.
No, so every child or every tech tracker that's in there in Camp Doc has
Has a user group, and whoever
has a profile.
right.
So then in the profile, you will be able to add a user.
Right. And so
So when
is
you
what-
create that group, you have all their profiles.
right. You will need an admin to add those new user
Oh, and
IDs for you.
so maybe that's because you've given me admin that
Yeah,
I've made
and
to do that.
so there are a couple super branch coordinators who have
Okay.
admin rights to do that. Correct.
Sorry, Mary, I overstepped.
That's okay, Faye. And anybody who feels confident enough who wants to take it on, go ahead and reach out to me, and we're happy to try and help you. Valerie, what's your comment about that?
Well, actually, I just have a quick question. I have an activity in mind for T-Tag, but let's say I can't get quite enough participants from Long Beach. I've been talking to the
Yeah.
Garden
Yeah.
Grove, Huntington Beach. Can I invite them from a neighboring branch that
Yes.
I'm kind of collaborating with?
Yes.
Oh,
We
great.
recommend it strongly.
Thank you.
Terry,
Thank you
a
very much.
comment about that? Is that
Mhm.
Terry, did you want to comment about that? You're on mute.
There you go. Yeah, okay. We're very lucky. In 2014, we started T-Tag. Our girls named it Tech Trek Alumni Group. They were 14 and 15 at the time, but that's history. And it's really hard to keep them going unless you can have them have activities all year long. And that's the hard part. But what I'm saying is that we use other venues, the public library. We always use that before COVID. We had the public library is a great place. We had meetings at the girls' homes in some of our homes. And now we have 3 or 4 big events every year, and we meet twice a month. One for a regular meeting on a Saturday morning, and one and Sunday evening for a planning meeting for our events. And no, we don't get hundreds of girls. We have hundreds and hundreds of girls in our database. And we know I send emails out to them. But many of them, as I've found out when I went through this Camp Docs process, it was very frustrating because their parents are getting, they'll respond, but it's not the girls' email. And I can tell because I have it in my phone. But at any rate, it is very frustrating. But we've been using community rooms in condominiums places. We use that. It's free if somebody lives there. At least that's our experience. And we just had our holiday party. Normally we get 20 some girls, but the big kicker, you said use other branches. I belong to the Beach Cities branch, which used to be Manhattan Beach. Okay, whatever. We're spread out all over from Santa Monica down to Redondo. There's Torrance branch, which is separate, but we border each other. There's Palos Verdes branch, which is separate, but we border each other. So guess what? T-Tag never was one branch. At least that's how we're lucky because we're so close. But it was never a one branch group. T-Tag started with the Torrance and the Beach Cities and the PV girls getting together. And we have a coordinator. I'm the coordinator for the Beach Cities. I'm also a coordinator for all of T-Tag, and we call it now South Bay, LA, T-Tag. So that's been great. So we work with Long Beach sometime, not your branch, but I've been working with people at Long Beach State to get some other things done. And we're going on field trips in Long Beach to Relativity Space next month. So, because one of the fathers of one of our girls works there. So that's how everything is just who do you know? How are you going to do it? And the way we did the monies was basically we had extra monies in our branch, and each branch had to pay an equal amount. Even if you didn't have, Beach Cities now has a lot more girls because we've been following them a lot more. We had members who could do it, but now we don't. But at any rate, even at our party, I noticed it's great, but I wish there were more from the Torrance branch or the PV branch. So it's just, it's a crapshoot. But all I can say is the monies we got when I got reimbursed for T-Tag shirts, that's the big one. And we all chip in like $20 for the pizza, my branch, Torrance branch, PV branch. And we say, okay, we're going to each pay the $20 because it costs 60 for our picnic. We always have a summer picnic. We've been doing this since 2014. Believe me, I'm tired, but and I can't get anyone to probably replace me. But you know what? And now I know another co-advisor. She was a 2015 camper, and I have her calling a lot of the past girls. So that's been helpful. And they do the Google survey and they send them out, and because I can't do it. And that's all I have to say.
Well, I just want to point out that in the application, there is a section if you are working with other branches. And it's possible, if you're doing a multi-branch project, to go more than $500. But, that's kind of on an exception level. But yeah, we love where the branches work together. I think it's great. So, yeah, in fact, I'm looking at Judy. I'm looking at Judy and Jean. So Marin and Petaluma, for instance, are working together. Marin's been doing it for a little while, and they're reaching out to Petaluma and saying, come work with us. Let's get you going too. So that's.
No, I want to. Laura still has her hand up, so I want to make sure whether she still has the
I had
question.
one question regarding assigning other campers to be able to contact the girls. Are there any rules or regulations regarding that in terms of the volunteer contact thing or whatever?
I mean, the volunteer conduct agreement is not age related. It has to do, or the volunteer conduct agreement. That anybody who is contacting minors should be
under 18, which would be the girls that would be in camp. So what I'm saying is, if you asked a previous camper to contact those girls, do they have to sign the volunteer agreement?
Yes, they do. They have to go through that whole process. Yes, they do.
Okay,
because
so
you're acting in a volunteer
basis,
capacity versus in a camper capacity, correct?
Okay.
Yeah. And they would just put that they're an alum and who they're working, who they're doing stuff with. Any other questions, Laura? Because I do want to show, to talk about the database tool. Yeah, Mary.
Yeah, there are 34 questions in the chat.
Yeah, I'm going through and responding to many of them in the chat. Okay.
Right.
So read the chat, people. I will go ahead and make a copy of what's in the chat. If you asked a question in the chat, see if I answered it or not. Laura, you got another question, or you good?
Okay, I can put my hand down now,
Yeah,
I think.
thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so let's quickly talk about what, I don't think I have Namita on the phone here. I didn't specifically invite her. So we talked to a couple vendors over the last couple of months. I'm very excited because I was on a call today from 1 to 2 o'clock with the folks from Caspio, is the company that we're going to be working with, who had their onboarding team working with us and talking to us about what our expectations and trying to get set up for how they're going to help us. And so Caspio is basically a tool. It's a database creation management tool that is pretty much plug and play, that enables you to have users do a multitude of things. But the most important thing to us is that we can have users update the records directly and give us information via a link, a portal that will take them in once they give us a piece of information, a matching piece of information that we already have in the database, right? So they'll have to provide a matching piece of information, and then they'll be able to update their own records. So of the 16,000+ records that we have, half of those have no email, for instance. So how are we going to contact them, right? To send them things? Well, like Jerry said, well, we'll have to send them a postcard, or we make it available via a portal so that we can then on social media, because many of them are now on LinkedIn, many of them are also in other places where there's social media, we can start sharing that link for them to go in and update their own record. Or if you know the information, you can update it for them in the system without having to worry about emailing spreadsheets back and forth to different people. So we're very excited about that. Plus, then we can send emails to them. And we can set permission levels similar to what we have in Camp Doc, but set permission levels, even I think down to the branch level, where you will only see the alums who are necessarily in your branch. But you could do another search and say by zip code, show me any alum who has moved into my zip code area. And so that you would have access to being able to contact that person and saying, hey, we'd like to get better connected here. Over time, we also want to start using it more for research, which is what our biggest motivator is. If we want to do long-term research, we have to look at the kids from 25 years ago, and we have no way of getting in touch with many of them other than a snail mail and maybe a phone number to mom and dad. But that was 25 years ago, which means they're getting close to 40 right now. And so the chances that mom and dad are there, it's pretty good. But, you know, are they living in the same place? So this gives us a way to not just enable people to update records, but you also, based on your permission level, to be able to go in and pull records of people that are relevant to you so that you know what's going on. And if you want the capability to be more than a viewer, you know, here's a little bit of training we'll put you through, and then you can go in and we'll show you how to update records, because that would be, you know, somebody who just likes to get in there and get their hands dirty. The exciting thing that was really exciting about it was there are 2 volunteers, one from Marin branch and one from the San Francisco branch. Both of them are database people. Yay, who know how to use AI to do things like set up design specs. Yay. And to help us get a kickstart onto some of this stuff. And I was like, well, you know, you both are working. So, and neither of them are retired. But I think sometimes I used to think, give a busy woman something to do and she'll get it done faster than the woman who is not busy. Okay. And so I'm like, I was cutting them some slack and say, hey, I'll be happy if this thing is live, tested, in use by the end of the fiscal year. And they're like, no, we want to do it sooner. And I'm like, okay, go for it, ladies. Let's do it. So hopefully we'll have something prototype ready to go by the time we talk in January. Fingers crossed that we'll be able to do that. Now, we won't go into it in depth until after we test it, but we'll be able to share it with you and say, hey, and if anybody would like to be on that test committee, just let us know and we'll let you. We love people who like to kick the tires. It's always a fun thing to kick the tires. Okay. Other questions that I have not answered. I'm not seeing any hands being raised. And you know what? My pizza is cold now. I know that for sure. But I love pizza in the air fryer. Yes, Liz.
Question on virtual camp. How much does that cost?
$500.
500.
500.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And that we can be a lot more flexible on in terms of when we have to pull the, you know.
And who can I contact with more information?
If you send for any of the camps, if you send it to TechTrek-virtual
Okay.
at aauw-ca.org, they'll respond. And Suzanne Shearer, who is also has raised her hand again this year to help Porterville out, is the virtual camp, one of the co-directors. And so she's also a branch coordinator. And I'm sure she's a pathways coordinator. Again, another
Okay.
busy woman, right? What's up with that? All these busy women. Mary.
Yeah, I had a question. I asked Rachel about it, and I think she contacted you about the counselor matrix form that had 3 years required before you could apply.
Oh, the correcting, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess the thought process for the virtual camp, the only difference if they were at a residential camp, if they were in robotics at the residential camp, then they get to do the virtual camp the next year. But if they were at a residential camp, they don't necessarily get to, unless we have a dearth of counselors for the following year, they wouldn't necessarily get to work as a virtual coach because they don't have the knowledge base that the virtual coaches have coming from virtual camp. So it's the learning curve's a little steeper. But if they were in some kind of a robotics core course, then I've been saying, yeah, we can work with that.
Well, is that matrix, I think it was also on the website. Has that matrix been adjusted so I can attach it to an email?
For that correction, no, and not right now. And the only thing I would do is put a clarification in that says the only exception would be a in-person a year after if they did the robotics course. And that would be the only change. Otherwise, it's still 3 years after before they can do the virtual coach role, unless they did virtual camp. And obviously, it's the next year. Jean.
I would like to know when the applications will be open for junior counselors and if there's a chance for any new junior counselors to be in, or it's all going to be repeats.
No, in fact, I think this is going to be an interesting year because this will be the first year, 23, 24, 25. This will be the first year that we've had kids coming from the 23 camps, right? 2026 will be the first year for, and I think last year we even had to have some camps bring counselors in from outside their normal area because they didn't have enough alums.
Well, of course, we're hoping that they could go locally, but when will that open?
Yeah. When campers, June, end of January.
End of January.
Is that something? I think
is that done? Is that done through Camp Docs?
Correct.
Okay. So I just need to watch for an announcement of when it will be open.
I think it's in some document somewhere. I think we put it in the January 20th. Assume it should be open by then, unless we tell you otherwise.
Okay, so I can let them.
I was going to say, as a co-director, it's kind of nice to get a little heads up that something's coming from somebody.
I just know we had some girls that were interested last year who were not accepted, and I didn't want to mislead them about their opportunities for this year.
Okay. So I think that Diane is right. So once they submit their application, they should follow up. And that's what we basically tell them. They should be following up with an email to the camp of their interest, not all of them, of the camp that they are interested in. And that sometimes it creates issues when they apply to a bunch, because that while we do tend to talk among the camps, we don't necessarily, some camps start earlier than other camps with.
Can I tell them now that they can apply on January 20th?
Sure.
Yeah.
I think it's somewhere on a website.
Make sure they say something about that they had applied before. I mean, the more information we get kind of gives us.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Barb.
Does Camp Doc send a notice to all the campers from 2023 that they might want to, that they could apply, and here's how?
We definitely, this will be the first year that we've been able to do it from Camp Doc with campers from 2023. But every year we do send notification out to prior staff and prior campers who are like virtual camp. We started doing right away. We would send a notification, if you're interested, here's how to apply. And so we'll do the same thing this year on a broad basis. But there's nothing stopping any of you from sending something out to your 2023 campers right now and saying, hey, heads up, and give them the right information. And most of it, by the way, I think is in some of the documents that are up on the website. So you need to look through all those asterisk documents, because that's got a lot of the information that you need in terms of what's the link to send them to, and where can
And
they
can be a counselor in a camp that's different from the camp they attended.
They can, but there's obviously going to be priority given to the in-person camps to somebody who was at that camp, because they know.
Yeah, they know what's going on in the camp, and they have a good
Unless
idea.
it's changed significantly. So, for instance, some of the Santa Barbara campers are going to be, from 2023, they're going to be at a different site this year. So it's kind of going to be one-off for a couple of years, because they're going to be not in the midst of the campus, and instead where we were the last time, Barb, we're going to be over at that other location. So,
and that was true for Carson and Santa Clara too. Yeah.
Right. So some of them are in slightly different places, and you have to kind of accommodate that. But for the most part, priority typically is given to campers from counselor applicants who were at the camp that they're applying for, generally. And I think it gets a little different when you get into the college age, because then they can start to move around a little bit, because some may be going, from a branch up north who are going to school in San Diego, or who are, going to spend the summer doing something in Fresno. And so, they may not have attended Fresno, but they could be available as a resource. And we especially love them when they get over 18.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, if they can be dorm monitors.
18 plus, yes.
Yeah, 21s.
21 better. 18, and if they could potentially be a camp co-director, that's even better. So, yes, we will definitely show favoritism. Other questions? And this will be available. I won't make it as a video, but the slides are going to be available as a PDF, and hopefully the video stuff won't take me too long to take care of getting done. So, other questions or comments? Hopefully, anybody doing anything really, really fun that I'm going to be jealous about for Christmas? Come on. Something good. Make me jealous. It's like, no, I'm going to have.
I've got about 6 young grandkids, so should be fun.
Are they babes in arm age, or are they wrestling to the ground age, like to try and get them to do something?
Ages 3, 4, 6.
Oh my God.
3, 4, 6. How old are they? 3, 4, 6, 7, 12.
Oh,
I'm missing one. 2 4s. 2 4s.
How long?
Little ones.
How long?
How long?
Yeah, how long are you going to be with them?
Oh, just over the holidays.
Well, that could be that long, or it could be that long.
Yeah, I hope it's this long.
This long. I agree. Office hours, they start on the 9th, And they will be every 2 weeks, starting on the 9th, Friday from, I want to say 3:30 to 4:30 or something. I think there's a link up on the website somewhere. So everything is really on the website. I noticed that Carla put a couple direct documents to the Google Drive, but most of those documents are actually on your webpage, Carla, under the TTAS. I know the application is, and I think the guidelines are too. Karen, yeah.
So I have 7-year-old identical twin grandsons who I take wrestling every week. They love to wrestle. So if you're really bored on Christmas morning, you can come over and participate.
Thank you for offering that, Karen. I think I'll probably abstain. Thank you so much. I'm going to have to spend time with my grandkids, but at least it's at a place I like, a barbecue joint. So it's like, okay, and they have beer and they have music. And that's the day after Christmas. So I've got them all. It's the trifecta with beer, music, barbecue. Yeah, 3 trifecta. Okay, I'm going to save this before I forget. And everybody else have a wonderful holiday, and we will talk to you soon. I will be sending some. Oh, Susan, your 50th. Wonderful. Wonderful. Today's the something that's happening, the 12/21. Oh, 18. Sorry, I got my dates wrong. I'm screwing up. With 50th wedding anniversary. Awesome. So let me go ahead and save that. But thanks for finding that. Yes, I did make a typo. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas, Mary.
Same to all of you. Same to all of you. And I'm going to just here, I'm going to stop